Well, for more on this, let's welcome in Harvard Law School Professor Emeritus and author of The Price of Principle, Newsmax analyst Alan Dershowitz. Professor, good to see you this evening. Thanks for being here. I do want to bring up a recent op-ed that you wrote about the special counsel. You say this: "It is often said that justice must not only be done, but must be seen. The appointment of a special counsel to investigate President Joe Biden's alleged mishandling of classified information was made not for justice to be done, but rather for the appearance of justice to be satisfied." So do you think that Attorney General Merrick Garland just appointed Robert Hur for an appearance of justice?
Of course. It was tit for tat. That's the way politics works in America today. When the Democrats do something to the Republicans, you should expect that the Republicans will do it back to the Democrats when they take over. I predicted that when the Mar-a-Lago search occurred. There are not going to be any prosecutions here. Neither Trump nor Biden is going to be prosecuted. But since they appointed a special prosecutor to investigate Trump, they had to appoint a special investigator to investigate Biden. Nothing's going to come of it unless more information comes out. Maybe information about Hunter Biden, who knows? But at the moment, based on mishandling of classified information, I would bet you Donald Sedona that every single past president has mishandled classified information. I bet if you went back and looked at every single past president, you'd find, oh my God, this was in my drawer, this was in my filing cabinet, I didn't realize it. Look, nobody here is malevolent. Nobody's trying to help the Chinese or the Russians. Everybody's careless, sloppy, and maybe they want to give themselves a little aid in writing their memoirs. And we're making too much of a big deal of this. There are no national security real breaches here or issues. This is all about getting even. The Democrats did it to Republicans. They overdid it with the Mar-a-Lago search. Now they're going to have to overdo it a little bit on the other side as well.
Obviously, people want the same standard to be applied here, essentially, right? Yeah. But we have two special counsels, Professor. So we have Jack Smith, who is a special counsel appointed to the Trump case, and then Robert Hur to the Biden case. How do we know that the same standard of the law will be applied? Should there be one special counsel rather than two here?
Well, there is one, and his name is Merrick Garland. He makes all the decisions in the end. I don't think we're going to see one special counsel recommend prosecution and the other not. But if that were to happen, Garland would make the decision. Look, I don't like special counsel generally because they have a target on the back of one person rather than looking broadly at the entire issue and making comparative assessments. Their job is to focus on one person. But in this political context, particularly since the two people involved are running against each other for president of the United States, at least at the moment, you have to have completely fair treatment, and the appearance of justice is as important as the reality of justice here.
Right, because at the end of the day, people are comparing these. This is what we're seeing. People will continue to compare these. And if people don't feel like there's a fair shake, there's going to be quite a bit of frustration.
One thing that all Americans agree to, every single American agrees that there's an enormous difference between what Trump did and what Biden did. But half of them think what Trump did was worse, and half of them think that what Biden did was worse. That's what's happened to American politics today. There's no nuance. There's no calibration. Either one person is all wrong and the other person is all right, or vice versa. That's what happened to politics in America today. We're the most divided country, most divided I've ever seen it in the 84 years of my life, and I think it's only getting worse.
Yeah, and you've seen much more than me, but I agree with you on that for sure. I do want to ask you this, because Donald Trump, part of his argument is that as president, he actually declassified this information that was at Mar-a-Lago. And that's one of the reasons that he was arguing with the Archives Department, saying, this is mine, I declassified it, so it doesn't belong to you. Then you have Biden, on the other hand, that, again, we don't know when he was briefed on this, and so how much has it been him voluntarily giving this over and how much of his team. But in that scenario, how does Trump prove his point? Because it seems like there's been a breakdown of the natural processes that are in place or procedures that are in place to declassify. Is that something that he can rely on here?
Yes, because he doesn't have to prove anything. The government has to prove the opposite. The government has to prove essentially that he didn't declassify. And remember, it has to be done, though, when he was president. It can't have been done after he was president. And people forget that Biden can now declassify everything. He can now declassify that Ukrainian intelligence that was found, so we, the American public, can see transparently whether there's anything in there that Biden wants hidden or not. I doubt it, but he has the power to declassify now. But did the president declassify? His lawyers have not said that in court. He has said it, and others have said it on his behalf. But that is a purely factual evidentiary issue. If it comes to a criminal case, the burden would be on the government to prove that he didn't declassify.
Okay, I only have about a minute left, Professor, but I do want to ask you this because this is something that has kind of evolved in the last few days. Richard Sauber, who is the counsel to the president, he is in the White House counsel's office. After a special counsel was put on this case, he is actually the one who went to Biden's private residence to look for classified documents. Isn't that muddying of the waters that you have a government employee going to Biden's private residence to look for this information? Is this a shifting narrative? Is there concern there? I only have about 45 seconds left.
Well, Dick Sauber is a friend of mine. He lives next door to me on Martha's Vineyard. He's a terrific, terrific lawyer. But these are issues of first impression. There are no rules that say, oh, the White House counsel shouldn't do this. It should be done by the special counsel. As soon as the special counsel was appointed, Sauber said, oh, no, I'm not going in there anymore. And as soon as he saw something was marked classified, he said, wait, that's above my pay scale. I don't have security clearance. So he didn't look at it. So I really can't fault Dick Sauber for how he's handled this. He has a very, very difficult job.
All right. Professor Dershowitz, always good to see you. Thanks for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Hey guys, it's Rob Carson. Your retirement funds are being threatened with even more losses from record inflation, recession, and skyrocketing interest rates. Fortunately, the highly trained specialists at American Hartford Gold can show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. If you call them right now as a special offer, they will give you a free gold coin on your first qualifying order, so don't wait. Call 866-935-4309. That's 866-935-4309 or text Newsmax to 65532. That's Newsmax to 65532.